Do you all know what this is?
We expected that all of you would know.
Since all of you know what a post-it is, then let's begin our talk with its history. Post-it is a tool that makes our lives easier. We use them for literally everything. Communicating, to-do lists, bookmarks. We all probably use them as secret messengers in class, right? Maybe not like this one, but we all probably use them to communicate with our friends during a boring class. There are even people who create artworks using post-its, like these ones. There are even people who imitate artworks, like this one here, Mona Lisa.
It's also pretty popular on social media. There's that TikTok trend where people were making a bunch of little artworks with their origamis from post-its. I'm sure anyone who uses TikTok has already seen at least one of these videos because they have it all over my For You page, like those.
However, the story of how it was invented is much more interesting than what it's used for.
Spencer Silver started working on a bizarre project at a company called 3M in 1968. He wanted to create a strong adhesive that could be used in aircraft construction. But during his process, he discovered an acrylic adhesive, which was tacky enough to stick to most surfaces, but it could easily be removed and reused. You wouldn't want an adhesive that can easily be removed in aircraft construction, right? So obviously 3M considered his project a failure, but he didn't stop. He even patented his invention. And luckily, after a few years, a chemical engineer named Art Fry noticed this genius invention. And he decided to use these adhesives as bookmarks since they weren't falling off, but they were also reusable.
As you might guess, their duties weren't limited to it. Even the 3M who considered it a failure before started using them. And today, billions of post-its are manufactured every year. Isn't it a captivating story? His goal was to produce a strong adhesive, but he ended up creating one of the biggest companies of all time. And this story brings us to the main topic of our speech. Regardless of how you got on it, the journey is always more important than the destination.
We usually get lost with the greed to achieve our goals, and we never realize how important the journey is. The one that teaches us numerous things is the journey. And the goal is the result, but the journey is your experience. Think of it like this. When you do a presentation for a class with your friend, after a few weeks of presenting, and sometimes even days, you don't really remember what you presented, but you do remember how you couldn't focus on doing the task because you were laughing way too much with your friend, like how we did when preparing for the TEDx, or how you and your friend upload the assignment at the last possible minute. Those are the pieces of your journey, and those are the things that stay with you.
We would like to share an anecdote with you guys. Yasemin and I, we've been friends for like a year. We met during online education, and since most of you guys are students just like we are, it really wasn't easy to make new friends during online classes. You only saw each other in classes and you couldn't talk to your friends like we all do in face-to-face education in lesson time or in break times. We really wanted to be friends with each other, but we didn't have the courage to take the first step, and we practically knew nothing about each other except for a few hobbies. For both of us, our destination was to be friends. And Yasemin made the first step, and she asked me about my favorite books, if I played an instrument. She knew my twin sister, and she asked me about her. We really tried our best to keep the conversation going. For instance, when it snowed, we literally sent each other tens of snowy landscapes from our windows during breaks because we really wanted to keep the talk going. And now when we remember that, we laugh and appreciate it. We appreciate our effort. And this is the journey. This journey is the sole thing that we remember.
As understood from our story, things don't happen just right away if you want results to be of good quality, of course. The good things always take effort, and it doesn't always apply to friendship. It also applies to daily life too, such as something simple as cooking. You can cook a meal by just putting all the ingredients in a pot with some water and boiling it. But you can also make a meal by preparing all the ingredients individually, roasting them, and then putting them together. In both scenarios, you reach your goal. You have a meal at the end. But the taste, the quality will be different. Your journey determines your satisfaction and happiness at the end.
Or no athlete is born as the champion in their fields. They work hard, get injured, feel desperate, and then they achieve their goals. How successful and famous they'll be is determined by their effort during practice and their state of mindset throughout the whole process. Serena Williams wasn't born as a professional tennis player. Her father studied tennis books and videos to instruct Serena and her sister. She did 2-hour practices with her father at a very young age. She even moved to Florida to get to where she is today. And today, she's a professional tennis player who has Olympic medals and she's known all around the world. Or to give another example, Richard Feynman, who received the Nobel Prize for Physics, didn't receive the world's most prestigious prize right away. He studied hard and constantly looked for flaws in his theories. And he says, "I was an ordinary person who studied hard. There are no miracle people."
Do you all know what this is? It's a popsicle.
But did you know that popsicles were invented as a coincidence? A little boy called Frank Epperson mixed some sugar soda powder with water and he left it out overnight. And it was a very cold night and the mixture froze. Thus, these tasty popsicles were invented.
But creating the popsicles never even crossed Epperson's mind. His journey took him there, and his journey taught him plenty of things. But most importantly, he created these delicious sweets. It is important to not forget that you can come to an outcome in many ways. Focusing on the road also highlights the other benefits of achieving your goal. It is on the walk that you will learn. That's where you grow. And in some aspects, reaching your goal is only a byproduct of your experience. For example, you lose weight by dieting and working out, but you also gain a bunch of new healthy habits. As the famous American tennis player Arthur Ashe has said, success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome.
Now let's look at the science behind this. An MIT study found that the neural circuits that underlie the memory process reveals for the first time that memories are formed simultaneously in the hippocampus and the brain's long-term storage location in the brain's cortex. So hippocampus is a brain system which is located in the temporal lobe, and what makes our hippocampus so important is that it has a major role in learning and especially memory. One of its biggest functions is to help humans process declarative memories, and it's a little hard to define what declarative memories are, but remembering the first time you got on a plane or other very vivid memories are defined as declarative memories. And the relationship between the journey and the ride is similar to this. The hippocampus stores your journey. It stores what you've been through during that journey. And it's evoked when you hear certain noises or when you hear certain smells. Thus, the journey is the one that always stays with us.
The crucial point is to choose the path you'll take or the path that the life will make you choose. For example, when you go to an arts museum or an art gallery, sometimes you see such paintings that give you so much emotion that you can't even decide what to feel or know what you're feeling. Take the emotion desperation, for example. If you go to an art school and ask the students to give you a painting that will transfer you the emotion, they all will give you a painting. But none will look exactly the same, even though they all will have the same goal. They will use different techniques, paint a different scene, use different colors, different brushes. That would be their journey. The perspective they look at the request is their journey, and the journey that makes each of their experiences and themselves unique, just like our journey every day.
Your journey always takes precedence over your destination, and the reason for this is that your development determines your results. The matters that get you the results you seek are your habits and lifestyles. As a result, if you desire a different outcome, all you have to do is adjust your behavior.
In other words, what you do determines what you will receive. And unfortunately, the majority of people appear to be mistaken. They focus and concentrate on their objectives, and when they don't achieve it, they adjust it. But it's never about your ambitions or desires. It's about what you do and how you act on a daily basis. As the famous author Emerson has said, life is a journey, not a destination.
Thank you.